So we've reached what is a thrilling time in NCAA cross-country season as the qualification for the big dance happens all in one day during regionals, and all across the country there was cross-country. And yes, I kind of meant to say that, and there were plenty of noteworthy performances that we'll cover here. There's no day quite as chaotic as regionals, as there's so much going on, from top contenders looking to just qualify for nationals with minimal effort to others running their hardest to nab a spot at natties. Now, I will say the footage of these races isn't really the greatest in the world, but we'll be trying to our best to analyze these final results before the final race of the year in Madison. Things got started on Friday morning with a lot of regional races in the South, and in the South region itself, at the Florida State course in Tallahassee, I think the key and to really watch here was Alabama. Going 1-2-3 in the men's race was a huge statement, and the winner would be Kenyan freshman Dismas Lokira, as I think he may be a dark horse to watch. While he outdropped by an exceptionally fast race at SECs, he won his other race at the Loyola Lakefront Invitational before that, and now has another victory at the NCAA South Regional.
Holding on, and they've got the top three spots locked up. Your winner, Dennis Dismas Lokira.
The Kenyan trio up front for Bama got them the win, although Ole Miss wasn't too far back in second and got the auto qualifier for Nats. Bama also won the women's race, as Doris Lemgale and Hilda Olamoimoy finished with the exact same time, and the results gave the win to Olamoimoy.
And it's going to be Olamoimoy by a hair
in this finish, as her team placed second. It's really rare you see a finish this close in the cross-country race. I do think these two, Lemgale and Olamoimoy, are top contenders for the individual crown, and they're all too familiar with each other now. But SEC's regionals and soon nationals, as that may prove to be the final decisive race. Staying in the South, there was also the South Central Regional at College Station, and this one had some big names in it. And much like the South Regional, we had a team going 1-2-3 in the men's race with Arkansas. The Razorbacks ran it down in performance to win this one over Tulane, and they'd also have the individual and team one in the women's race, as led by Peyton Knowles, sub-19 clocking in first place finish. The Razorbacks just edged Texas for the regional title. I do think that although Kiprock finished a bit behind his teammate Karami Yego, that he's still going to be a contender for the individual crown. His sub-22 clocking at conference was extremely impressive, and this Razorbacks team could be one to watch out for on the men's side. Ranked at number 3, they've got depth and fast runners up front that could definitely contend for a top spot or even the top spot at nationals. We also have to talk about the Southeast Regional in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I was definitely curious to follow this one, as it was a bit of a follow-up on the conference championship race that saw a great win from Gary Martin and his Virginia team that did nab the first spot at Southeast Regionals. It's unclear how fit Parker Wolf is right now and how fit he'll be for nationals and if he can contend for the individual title, but he ran with teammate Ethan Strand as the two placed 5th and 6th and got UNC a second spot. What's surprising, though, is Wake Forest, a team ranked number 5 overall in the national rankings, only finished 5th, at their own regionals race. They were missing a huge talent in Rocky Hampson, which furthered their chances. But still, after winning conference, this was a surprising result. But yeah, Virginia Tech with a big race to get 4th, beating both Wake Forest and Foreman, a very solid result there. On the women's side, ACC champ Grace Hartman just beat Clemson runner Sylvia Jalego. The Wolfpack, while not as dominant as the teams of the past 3 years, did get the win there. Shifting from the South to the Midwest, I think a lot of eyes were going to be on OSU's men's team and how they were to respond, given how they lost to BYU at conference. They'd have a solid performance at regionals to win comfortably over Iowa State, a strong squad, as although OSU may have held a few guys back for nationals, their top guys came through.
And as his teammates are going to come down this home stretch, and the whole Cowboys are going to be having a rodeo.
And Dennis Kipnegedic showed why he's another one of those runners that could contend for the individual crown.
He was 4th at NCAA's last year. He took third in the outdoor 5K, and now he's going to add Midwest Region champ.
Brian Wissal, the Big 12 champ, stayed back of this race, but I do expect him to be another contender for the individual title on nationals. And overall, I do think with whatever roster OSU decides to field next week, that they are still the favorite for the whole thing. OSU also got a win on the women's side, as well as both their squads head to nationals, with the men having a very solid chance at getting a repeat title despite losing at conference. Meanwhile, in the mountain region, we had some big names going at it, and I definitely thought this will be one of the most interesting races. On the men's side, we had a now number 1 ranked BYU squad, fresh up beating OSU at conference champs, and also an individual contender that ran in that race, 59-minute half marathon runner Solomon Kipchoge of Texas Tech. Add to that Hoptum Samuel, favorite for the NCAA title, and there was a pretty loaded field in this one. Houston and Reno, there was Noah Moda on this course that made it look challenging, but that didn't stop the Kenin Kipchoge from throwing down a huge statement win. While his Texas Tech team finished down the list, Kipchoge doesn't make his case for being a huge contender for the individual title at nationals. For the team title, though, BYU came through as they faced competition mainly from New Mexico and NAU. Actually, throughout this race and going to the final mile or so, New Mexico had the lead on the number 1 ranked BYU squad, but they weren't quite able to hold on to it for the finish. I do think BYU has a very solid chance at the men's title, but I do think if everyone on OSU performs, and they do have a lot of big guns, it's going to be a tight battle if they do win. The BYU women's team also got the win and held out some top scorers, a pretty impressive performance there, and I do think that they are the favorite to win the national crown. Pamela Koskai got the win on the women's side individually, and I do think that she's also a big favorite for the national title individually this year. There's still plenty of regional races I haven't covered in this one, and I'll try to break them down more, but I will say it's a lot of results to digest and go over, but there's only really a few days now until the national championships in cross country, and this is probably the most exciting time of the year for this great sport. If you enjoy coverage like this, be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.